Hi, welcome to the intro part 1 to Stairway to Heaven. This is the first lesson in your Stairway to Heaven lesson package. First lesson on your syllabus. What we're going to do is we're going to start off with a play along, and then we'll go over the lesson in more detail. Here we go. 4 count, not too fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so what we're going to do before we get started is you want to go ahead and tune up your ukulele, and you want to grab 2 pieces of paper. The first paper you're going to grab is the intro part 1. This is the music sheet with the chords on it. As you see, an A minor, then a G sharp / B. That's one page you want to get first. And the other page you want to get is the picture of the fretboard of the ukulele. It's got some number diagrams here. 1, 2, 3, 4, open 5 down here. So you want to grab those 2 pieces of paper. Go ahead and pause your tutorial. Grab those 2 pieces of paper. Tune up your ukulele and then come on back. Okay, so let's check our tuning before we go on any more. So the tuning: G, C, E, A. Make sure ukulele is in tune before we start. Okay, now on the board you see some diagrams. We'll go over these here. You see the G sharp / B. Now that is not the name of the chord, but it is to provide an association with what notes we're pressing down. In other words, the notes we're pressing down is a G sharp and a B. Okay. The actual name of that chord was E7 + 5, but I thought that was a little bit confusing, so it's more easier to understand if we just associate that with the notes we're pressing down. Once again, G sharp, B. We'll go over the fingering in just a little bit. First, I just want to explain everything. The chords that I'm going to be using is a G bar chord. There's 2 ways you can make it. Here's one. A lot of people make it like this. Here's the other bar chord. This is how I'm making it. I got my first finger covering all the strings down on the 2nd fret, and then I'm pressing down these 2 strings over here. Next, you have a picture of a 1-note riff here. That's that paper that we talked about of the ukulele fretboard. So it's easier if you follow this because it's much more clear and larger to see. But you have the numbers on your fretboard. For instance, 1, 2, 3, 4, and open string 5. Okay, that's not your fingering. That is the order of plucking the notes, and it's listed right above the fretboard, so you know exactly where to press down. And we'll go over that in just a second too. Also, use your fret markers here to help you locate where you're pressing down the notes. Okay, first of all, the first chord that we want to talk about is that G sharp / B. Okay, now I'm holding my G sharp / B like this. First finger, ring finger. Okay, now you decide on what's comfortable for you. A lot of people they hold it other ways, like for instance maybe like this or like this, but I'm holding it like this. So just to let you know, at this stage of playing, you should be able to adapt to however you're most comfortable to making the chord. You decide on how you want to play it. Next chord is this G chord. Now, if you want to play a regular G chord, that's fine. Well, we think that the bar chord G resolving to the A minor, so bar chord G resolving to the A minor sounds better. It has a better resolution, meaning that when we say resolve, we mean that the chord comes back to the 1, the tonic chord, the 1 chord, and so that's what we mean by resolve. Now there's 2 ways of making the G chord. So you can do regular G, add the baby finger on top. Okay? A lot of folks do it like that. Now the way I'm doing it is like this here. I got a bar on the 2nd fret, then 1 and 2. So bar on the 2nd fret, and then 1 and 2. So index 1, 2. That's my bar for the G chord. That's how I'm doing it. Okay. Now, when I did this slide riff, which is down here, this diagram down here, I did a slide in, okay? But so before I show that to you, I just want to pick out the notes for you. So if you follow along on your fretboard on the diagram, all it is on the 5th fret, 2nd string, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, open, 5. Okay, once again, follow the diagram or the page that you got with the fretboard. This one right here. Follow those notes, the right above the string and right above the fret. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and open 5. Okay, so those are the notes that you need to play for the little riff. Now, the way I played it was I slid my finger into the 5, the 5th fret. In other words, here's the 5th fret right here, 2nd string, slide into it, slide out. Okay, so it gave a nice continuity. So in other words, if you okay, first of all, if you do this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's perfectly fine. All I did was give it a little bit more flair. So I did slide in, 2, 3, 4, slide out into A minor. Okay, so it sounds like this. So you can hear, it gives it a nice smooth continuity. So you can slide in. One thing I did is slide into it. Okay, now you decide on how you want to play it, but I'm showing you various ways on how you can play it. Now, let's go over the picking. So basically the picking pattern is kind of repetitious. Remember that you start off with the 2 outside strings. 2 outside strings. Then the first one we're going to go down. Down, so outside going down, outside going down, and that's going to be 2 outside strings together, index, middle. Every finger has a string. Okay, so in other words, thumb, index, middle, and ring down here. Okay, my baby finger is just down here on the soundboard, stabilizing my hand. If you are uncomfortable like that and you can play without stabilizing hand, by all means, whatever is comfortable for you. By stabilizing my hand, what happens is when I pluck, okay, see how the hand comes up a little bit, but stabilizing the baby finger on the soundboard, it reminds me I don't want to lift my hand too far off the strings. Okay, here we go. Once again, so I got an A minor chord, 2 outside strings, same time, coming down, index, middle, outside, index, middle. Got the A minor chord, outside, index, middle. Okay, next chord, G sharp slash B. G sharp slash B. G sharp slash B. You're coming upwards, outside 2 outside strings at the same time. Up, outside, middle, index, outside, middle, index. Next chord, C. Outside, middle, index. Outside, middle, index. Next chord, D. Outside, middle, index. Outside, index, middle, index. And the F chord, it kind of goes up and down. So you're going to go outside, up, back down, back up, stop. Okay? So it goes outside, up, and then stop. Okay? So outside, up, down, up, and stop on that 2nd string. Okay? And after that, you're going to go into, oh, by the way, sometimes you might see, sometimes when I play the chord, let me show you what I'm doing. Just to add a little style. Okay? I might do something like this. I might pluck all the strings, and then come up. Or I might roll the picking pattern. So what I'm doing is in one beat. Okay? Okay, so what I'm just trying to say is that sometimes on the D or the F, you might see me do, here, that's an F, here's a D. Okay, that's what I'm doing. If you hear that, that's the technique I'm doing. So let's get back to the F. Outside, up, down, up, stop on the second, and then finally the last two chords, G and A minor, which is the bar chord to A minor, bar chord to A minor, and I'm doing, or you can use a finger, or you can use a thumb. Okay, whatever is comfortable for you. So you decide. Now, once again, we're not going to go over like a lot of the fingering in these lessons. So it's assumed that you're able to adapt to the fingering in the style that's comfortable for your playing. You want to go back and try this lesson again and get comfortable. Once you are ready, go back to the beginning of the tutorial and do the play along. Okay? Now, most important of all, you need to do the lesson slowly and be able to do all the chords, able to do all these chords on the instruction sheet as smoothly as possible before you do the play along. The reason being is, if you are not as smooth as possible and you do play the play along with me and you're making a lot of mistakes, what's going to happen is that you're going to remember your mistakes that you're making and you're going to reproduce the mistakes that you're making. So you want to play it as smoothly as possible so you can remember playing the correct notes, the correct picking, the correct chords, etc. Okay? The more you can play it correctly, the faster you will be able to play it correctly. Okay? So in other words, if you're playing mistakes, you're going to wind up repeating those mistakes and you have to correct those mistakes. So what you want to do is, before you even play along with me in the play along at the beginning of the tutorial, you want to go through all the chords. So what I'm going to do is show you what I would do. I would hold my strings dead, no playing, and I would make my chord. For instance, I'm looking at the music sheet. Let's look at it together. A minor is first chord. Next chord is a G sharp / B. Okay, I can do that. Next is a C. I can do that. Next is a D. I can do that. F, G. Now, which G you're going to make? You're going to make it like this. You're going to make it like this. But you got to decide to make it smooth. Going to an A minor. Once you can do that smoothly, you can start to try to do the play along. And also, don't forget to do your one note riff smoothly as well. So you do the two lines, the riff smoothly, and then once you can do that smoothly, okay, try the exercise with the play along. Okay. Now, once you're ready and you got it smooth and you're ready to move on, we'll see you at the next lesson for the intro part 2.